Overthinking is a silent thief that steals your peace and creates chaos in your mind. It's easy to get caught in the storm of your thoughts, ruminating over the past, worrying about the future, or endlessly analyzing the present. If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and are seeking a way to find inner peace, this video is for you. Today we're diving deep into the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to tame the chaos within and embrace a life of tranquility and focus. You might think that these lessons from over 2,000 years ago wouldn't apply today, but I'm here to show you how these timeless principles are more relevant than ever in our modern, hectic lives. Now, if you appreciate the insights and stories we're going to explore together, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps us bring more of these life-changing ideas to you and others who might benefit from a little less chaos and a lot more peace. And remember, don't skip any part of the video. Each point we're going to discuss has the potential to significantly shift your perspective and perhaps your life. Let's unlock the secrets of the Stoics together, and I promise you'll walk away from this video not just informed, but transformed. When it feels like your mind is a time machine, zipping back to past regrets, or zooming forward to future worries, it's time to hit the brakes and park yourself firmly in the present. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's break it down. Picture this. You're at a great concert, but instead of enjoying the music, your mind wanders to a mistake you made earlier in the week or what you need to do tomorrow. Sounds familiar, right? This is where Stoicism steps in, reminding us that the only true possession we have is now, the present moment. Stoic philosophy isn't about suppressing your past or ignoring your future. It's about embracing the present with full awareness. Think of the present as your point of power. It's the stage where you can act, decide, and live. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of concentrating on the present task, treating it as if it were your last. He wasn't being morbid. He was highlighting the intensity and focus that comes from living in the moment. So how do you practice this? Start by tuning into your immediate environment. Notice the colors around you, listen to the sounds, take in the smells. This sensory check-in is a practical way to anchor yourself. When your senses are engaged, there's less room for your mind to wander off. It's like telling your brain, hey, look here, this is where we're at, let's make the most of it. This simple act can cut through the noise of overthinking and bring a surprising calmness, clearing the way for more joy and less worry. Another way to live in the now is through what the Stoics call voluntary discomfort. It's about small, intentional practices like taking a cold shower, skipping a meal. These actions aren't just for building resilience. They're about pulling you back into the present. They sharpen your ability to control your response to the here and now, rather than letting your mind drag you back and forth through time. Mindfulness, a concept that resonates with Stoic traditions, is also key. It's about observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment. Imagine sitting by a stream, watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought or a feeling. Your job isn't to grab at the leaves, but to watch them drift past. This detachment allows you to recognize that thoughts are just thoughts. They don't control you. You control how you engage with them. Living in the present also means letting go of the what-ifs and if-onlys that haunt your inner dialogue. This doesn't mean you don't plan for the future or learn from the past, but you do so in a way that serves you right now. It's about making the past and future relevant to the present, using them as tools, not chains. Ever noticed how a cluttered room can make you feel overwhelmed, like you can't think straight until you've tidied up? Well, our minds work in much the same way. When our mental space is cluttered with a jumble of thoughts, it can be tough to find peace or clarity. Just imagine your mind like a sky filled with clouds. Some days it's stormy and overcast. Other days it's clear and sunny. The key to finding that sunny clarity is understanding that thoughts, much like clouds, are transient. They come and go, but they don't have to define your sky. Stoicism teaches us not to get attached to our passing thoughts. It encourages us to view these thoughts as external events, much like the weather. You wouldn't try to stop a cloud from moving across the sky, right? Similarly, trying to block or control every thought isn't just exhausting, it's futile. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius often spoke about observing thoughts without getting swept away by them. They saw the value in stepping back and realizing this is just a thought, and thoughts aren't facts. But how do you actually do that? It starts with awareness. Begin by simply noticing your thoughts. Picture yourself sitting by a stream, and each thought is a leaf floating by. Some leaves might catch your attention more than others, but instead of grabbing them and examining every detail, you just let them float by. This exercise isn't about emptying your mind, but rather about not letting yourself get carried away by every leaf that drifts past. Reflection, a tool for mental clarity. Another effective way to manage your mental clutter is through reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on the thoughts that dominated your mind. Were they necessary? Were they helpful? Did they improve your day, or did they make it more stressful? This kind of reflection can help you identify patterns in your thinking and learn which thoughts to let pass by more easily next time. The power of premeditatio malorum. Stoicism also introduces the concept of premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This technique involves visualizing the worst-case scenario in detail. It might sound counterintuitive, but by contemplating the worst, you often realize that even if it were to happen, you could handle it. This realization can take the power away from anxiety-inducing thoughts, allowing them to pass through your mind like harmless clouds, not ominous storm fronts. Freeing your mental space, integrating these Stoic practices into your daily life can transform the way you relate to your thoughts. You start to see that thoughts are not commands. They are merely suggestions, possibilities, and sometimes just noise. By not clinging to every thought, by not letting them dictate how you feel, you free up so much mental space. It's like cleaning up that cluttered room, and suddenly, you breathe easier, think clearer, and feel lighter. The illusion of control. Imagine you're driving on a highway and suddenly you find yourself in thick fog. Your first instinct might be to grip the steering wheel tighter and try to control the vehicle with even more precision. It's a natural response, but sometimes what we really need to do is slow down, turn on the fog lights, and trust that we'll make it through the haze safely. This is a lot like how we handle the uncertainties of life. We often cling to the illusion of control, thinking that if we just hold on tighter, we can manage everything perfectly. But just like driving in fog, sometimes the best approach is to ease up, not tighten our grip. The Stoic art of letting go. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided many through the complexities of life, teaches us this art of letting go gracefully. The Stoics believed that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control how we respond. This idea is liberating because it shifts our focus from trying to control the uncontrollable to mastering what's within our reach, our actions, our responses, our attitude. Take, for example, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who famously said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." He encouraged his students to discern between these two realms and to invest their energy wisely. This distinction is crucial in everyday life. What's within your control? When you find yourself overthinking or stressing over something, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, then it's a signal that you might need to let go of the wheel a bit. Letting go doesn't mean giving up responsibility. It means understanding the limits of your control and focusing on what you can actually influence. It's about doing your best with what's in your hands, and then stepping back when there's nothing more to be done. This can apply to anything from work projects and personal relationships to managing health or financial plans. Practical Stoic habits. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through reflection and acceptance. At the end of each day, reflect on the moments when you felt the urge to control outcomes. What triggered these feelings? How did you respond? By regularly examining your reactions, you begin to see patterns and learn new ways to let go and trust the process more. Amor fati, loving your fate. Another Stoic practice that can help is the concept of amor fati, which translates to love of fate. This doesn't just mean accepting whatever happens. It's about embracing it as if you had chosen it yourself. It's a powerful way to let go of resistance and make peace with the way things are. Imagine facing a difficult situation, and instead of resenting it, you say, "This is exactly what I need." This shift in perspective can transform challenges into opportunities for growth and personal development. Embracing the idea that control isn't everything might feel daunting at first. It can seem like you're leaving too much up to chance. However, the more you practice letting go, the more you realize that it leads to a deeper sense of peace and confidence. You start to trust that, like driving through fog with your fog lights on, you'll navigate through life's uncertainties more effectively, not by grasping tighter, but by steering with a steadier, more trusting hand. Have you ever noticed how, when things start to spin out of control, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid? It's like your body's natural alarm system alerting you that something's off, and just by changing how you breathe, you can actually calm that chaos inside. This is more than just a cool trick. It's a fundamental practice that can bring you back from the edges of stress and overthinking to a state of calm and clarity. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and to approach life's challenges with a composed and rational mind. One of the most immediate things we can control is our breath. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about mastering one's reactions to external events. He knew that the first step to gaining control over your reactions is to stabilize your physical state, starting with your breath. So, let's break down how this works. When you start to feel overwhelmed, pause, close your eyes if you can, and focus on taking a deep, slow breath. Inhale through your nose, counting to 4. Hold that breath for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for another count of 4. This method is known as the 4-4-4 breathing technique, or box breathing. It's used by everyone, from athletes to Navy SEALs, to combat stress in high-pressure situations. What it does is help regulate the nervous system, slow the heart rate, and give you a moment of pause, allowing your mind to regroup and refocus. The act of observing your breath also plays a crucial role in this practice. By paying attention to the rise and fall of your chest or the sensation of air passing through your nostrils, you anchor yourself in the present moment. This is key in Stoicism. The focus on being fully present and engaged in the now. It's about observing without judgment. When you notice thoughts creeping in, instead of engaging with them or trying to push them away, simply acknowledge their presence and gently bring your focus back to your breathing. This isn't about clearing your mind of thoughts. It's about not letting those thoughts steer your emotions and reactions. Integrating breathing exercises into your daily routine can dramatically change how you interact with the world around you. It's like installing a mental reset button. Whenever you find yourself starting to overthink, or when you're faced with a stressful situation, hitting that button can give you the clarity and calm needed to handle anything more effectively. Moreover, regular practice of mindful breathing can cultivate a habit of mindfulness. Over time, you'll find that this not only helps in moments of acute stress, but also contributes to a more sustained, overall sense of peace and stability. It trains your mind to live less in hypothetical worries and more in the real, tangible moments that make up your life. This Stoic practice of anchoring your mind through breath is empowering because it's always available to you, no matter where you are or what situation you're in. Your breath is a tool that you carry within yourself. By learning to focus on and control your breathing, you're not just learning to calm your mind, you're learning to align yourself with Stoic principles of self-mastery and resilience. Sometimes, when you look around your living space or scroll through your digital world, you might feel a bit overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff. From cluttered desktops to overflowing closets, it's easy to see how the physical can reflect and even affect the mental. In a world where more always seems better, it might seem counterintuitive to think that having less could actually make you happier and more at peace. But there's a powerful freedom in stripping back to the essentials, and this is where the Stoic practice of minimalism can really shine. Stoicism teaches us the value of focusing on what's truly important and letting go of the rest. This philosophy isn't just about enduring hardship or suppressing desires. It's about creating space for what genuinely enriches your life. Epictetus urged his followers to keep their lives simple and to avoid getting caught up in the pursuit of wealth or possessions. He believed that peace comes from within, and that external circumstances have only as much power as we grant them. Decluttering your physical space, embracing a minimalist lifestyle, can start with your physical environment. Take a good look around your home. Each item you own requires a piece of your attention, whether for cleaning, maintenance, or just choosing what to wear or use. By reducing the number of possessions, you reduce these demands on your attention, which can lead to a quieter, more focused mind. This doesn't mean living with nothing. Rather, it means keeping things that serve a purpose or bring you joy and parting with the rest. Simplifying beyond the physical. But simplifying isn't just about decluttering your physical space. It's also about streamlining your commitments and your digital life. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by endless notifications, social media feeds, and the pressure to stay constantly informed. By setting boundaries around your digital consumption, like specific times when you check emails or social media, you give yourself permission to disconnect and focus on the present. This kind of digital minimalism can help you regain control over where and how you spend your mental energy. The connection between minimalism and Stoicism. The Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control is deeply connected to minimalism. By simplifying your life, you're stripping away the non-essentials that you can't control and focusing more deeply on what you can, your actions, your work, your relationships. This shift in focus can dramatically decrease feelings of stress and overthinking because you're no longer spreading yourself too thin across too many concerns. Furthermore, minimalism fosters a sense of gratitude. When you live with less, you tend to appreciate more. This is a key Stoic practice, focusing on being thankful for what you have rather than resenting what you don't. Each item, each activity, and each interaction has more value and meaning when it's chosen with intention rather than by default. Starting the journey toward a minimalist lifestyle can be as simple as choosing one area of your life to simplify. Maybe it's your wardrobe, committing to a capsule collection of garments that you love. Or perhaps it's your schedule, deciding to say no to commitments that don't align with your values or bring you satisfaction. Each small step not only adds to your immediate peace, but also builds your confidence in your ability to live according to Stoic principles. Isn't it fascinating how the only thing we can truly count on in life is change? Yet so often, it's the thing we resist the most. We build our routines, our habits, and our expectations around predictability, and when things inevitably shift, it can throw us off balance. But what if we could not only expect change, but welcome it with open arms? This is where the wisdom of Stoicism can make a profound impact on our lives. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has endured through the centuries, teaches us to embrace the impermanence of life. The Stoics believed that by accepting that everything is in flux, we can rise above the tumult of our ever-changing world and find true peace of mind. Seneca, one of the most celebrated Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about the inevitability of change and the importance of being as flexible in mind as nature is in its expressions. To start integrating this mindset, consider the nature around you, the way the seasons change seamlessly from spring blooms to summer heat, to the falling leaves of autumn, and finally, to the quiet cold of winter. Each season has its purpose and its beauty. Just as we accept and adapt to these seasonal shifts, we can learn to do the same with changes in our lives. Whether it's a sudden job change, a move to a new city, or shifts within personal relationships, viewing these changes as natural and necessary can significantly reduce our anxiety and overthinking about the unknown. But how do we put this into practice? It starts with letting go of our attachment to outcomes. While it's natural to want certain results from our efforts, attaching our happiness to these outcomes can set us up for disappointment. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our actions and intentions, leaving the results to unfold as they will. This doesn't mean we don't strive or plan. Rather, it means we detach our well-being from the results of our action. Moreover, embracing change involves recognizing the opportunities that come with new circumstances. Every change brings with it the chance to learn something new, to grow, and to expand our horizons. When we open ourselves up to the possibilities that change can bring, we shift from feeling victimized by circumstances to becoming active participants in our own lives. This proactive stance is empowering. It transforms our experience from one of passivity to one of engagement and adventure. Another Stoic strategy to help cope with change is the practice of reflection and preparation. The Stoics recommended regularly contemplating potential changes and challenges that could arise. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, helps prepare the mind to face possible future scenarios without fear. By mentally rehearsing how you might handle difficult situations, you build emotional resilience and flexibility, making you better equipped to deal with change when it occurs. In embracing change, it's also crucial to maintain a support network of friends and family who can provide different perspectives and emotional support during times of transition. Stoicism doesn't advocate going through life's ups and downs alone. Rather, it encourages building and relying on a community. This support not only helps buffer the stresses that come with change, but also enriches the journey, making the process of adapting not just bearable, but enjoyable. Have you ever felt utterly overwhelmed by the noise around you? The endless stream of opinions, expectations, and the relentless pressure of keeping up? Imagine this. Ancient Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago faced the same human emotions, struggles, and questions about identity and purpose that we grapple with today. It's fascinating, isn't it, that the wisdom from centuries past still holds profound relevance in our modern, fast-paced world. Today, we're diving deep into the Stoic way of life, uncovering timeless truths that can help us navigate the chaos of the 21st century with grace, resilience, and profound inner peace. Whether you're struggling with stress, seeking meaning, or simply curious about a philosophical approach to life that has stood the test of time, you're in the right place. Together we'll explore how Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas, but a practical guide to living more fully, authentically, and serenely. And if you're eager to embark on this journey of self-discovery and timeless wisdom with us, please hit that subscribe button. And remember, every part of this video is crafted with you in mind, so don't skip any section. Each moment is a step towards a more stoic, resilient you. Isn't it curious how, at some point in our lives, we find ourselves entangled in the web of others' opinions? We often surrender our peace of mind and happiness trying to fit into the molds others create for us. But let's pause for a moment and delve into ancient Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the futility of seeking external approval. He urges us to question this innate desire to please others, challenging us to break free from the chains of external validation. It's a liberating thought, isn't it? To realize that the only approval you truly need is your own. Now, think about it. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, it's your thoughts you're left with, not others. So why not make those thoughts about your true self, your values, and your actions? Imagine the freedom of being unapologetically you, not swayed by fleeting opinions or the latest trends. But how do we start caring less about people's opinions? It begins with understanding and reaffirming your values. What do you stand for? What matters most to you? When your actions are in harmony with your beliefs, there's a profound sense of peace and authenticity that no amount of external approval can match. Moreover, embracing your uniqueness attracts the right kind of people into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you genuinely are, not for who they want you to be. It's about quality, not quantity. Having a few meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding is infinitely more fulfilling than seeking the fleeting approval of the masses. It's crucial to remember that people's opinions are just that, opinions. They are subjective, variable, and often more reflective of the person expressing them than of you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely points out, the only constant and true validation comes from within, from living a life aligned with your values and principles. When we talk about being honest, it's easy to default to the idea of not lying to others. But Stoicism invites us to explore honesty on a much deeper level. It's about aligning our external actions and words with our internal values and beliefs. This alignment fosters a profound sense of integrity and wholeness. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing your actions are not just surface-level performances, but true reflections of your inner self. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, really hammers this point home. He suggests that honesty doesn't just make moral sense, it makes practical sense. Think about it. Deceit requires us to remember our lies, cover our tracks, and live in constant fear of being found out. It's mentally exhausting. Honesty, on the other hand, is simple and liberating. It frees us from the tangled web of deceit and allows us to live with ease and clarity. But here's the real kicker. Honesty affects not only our relationship with others, but also with ourselves. When we are honest with ourselves about our strengths, our flaws, and our desires, we pave the way for genuine growth and self-acceptance. It's like clearing out the clutter in our minds to make room for more peace, more understanding, and more authentic connections with the people around us. And yet, embracing honesty is not always easy. It requires courage and vulnerability. It means sometimes admitting we were wrong, facing our mistakes, and dealing with the consequences of our actions. But the reward, trust, respect, and a clear conscience is immeasurably worth it. So how can we cultivate this virtue in our daily lives? It starts with small steps. Practice transparency in your interactions. Reflect on your day and acknowledge moments where you might not have been entirely honest. Ask yourself why and how you can improve. Remember, it's a journey, and every step toward honesty is a step toward a more serene and meaningful life. We've all felt that sting, that immediate reaction when someone's words or actions seem to hit us right where it hurts. Seneca, with his profound understanding of human nature, reminds us to look beyond the surface. He suggests that when someone acts in a way that we find hurtful or offensive, it's often not really about us at all. People act based on their perceptions, their struggles, and their history. It's like everyone is moving through the world wearing a unique pair of glasses that color how they see everything around them, including us. Now, think about a time when you might have snapped at someone or acted in a way that wasn't really you. Chances are you were dealing with something else entirely. Stress, fear, insecurity, or maybe you were just having a really bad day. Now, if we can recognize this in ourselves, why not extend that same understanding to others? This perspective shift, which Seneca advocates, is about empathy, but it's also about self-preservation. When we stop taking things personally, we detach ourselves from the unnecessary pain that comes with believing everyone's actions are about us. It's like setting down a heavy burden we've been carrying around. Suddenly, we can breathe, move, and live more freely. But how do we actually do this? How do we stop taking things personally, especially when our emotions are already flared up? It starts with a pause. When you feel that rush of hurt or anger, just pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself of Seneca's words. This might not be about me at all. This simple act of pausing can prevent a reactive spiral and give you space to choose a more reasoned response. It's also about building resilience and understanding. The more we remind ourselves that we don't have the full picture of what someone else is going through, the less likely we are to be wounded by their actions or words. And when we do get hurt, because it will happen, we can treat it as a practice ground for our Stoic principles. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it help me grow? In embracing this Stoic approach, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also open ourselves up to more compassionate and meaningful interactions. We become less reactive, more understanding, and, in a way, more connected to the humanity in everyone we meet. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about patience. He saw it not just as a passive waiting, but as an active engagement with the present moment, whatever it may hold. To him, being patient was akin to donning armor against the trials of life, transforming potential irritants into lessons of endurance and calm. Think about it. When you're stuck in traffic, there's a kind of freedom in accepting that you can't move faster than the cars in front of you. It's an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply to your own thoughts. This shift doesn't change the traffic, but it changes how you experience it. turning a frustrating wait into a moment of peace or even enjoyment. Similarly, when dealing with a challenging person, imagine if, instead of reacting with irritation or anger, you responded with patience. You give yourself a moment to understand where they're coming from, to recognize that their behavior is more about their own struggles than anything else. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but you respond to it with composure and thoughtfulness, which often diffuses tension and leads to better outcomes for everyone involved. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is about embracing the moment rather than fighting against it. It's about seeing the delay, the annoyance, or the obstacle as part of the path, not a deviation from it. Every moment of impatience is a chance to practice, to deepen your understanding of Stoicism, and to cultivate a serene mind. But how can we cultivate this patience in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. Recognize when impatience is starting to bubble up inside you. Then pause. Take a deep breath. Remember Marcus Aurelius and the countless others who have faced far greater trials with patience and dignity. Another practical step is to adjust your expectations. Often our impatience stems from things not going according to our plan. But if we remind ourselves that we're not in control of everything, only our response to things, we can set more realistic expectations and find peace in the unfolding of life. However it happens, view each test of patience as an opportunity, not a hurdle. Like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise, your capacity for patience grows every time you choose it over frustration or anger. And the rewards are immense: a calmer mind, less stress, and a reputation as someone who is composed and thoughtful, even in challenging situations. Epictetus knew a thing or two about adversity and integrity. He didn't just lecture about Stoicism in the classroom. He lived it every single day, and he encouraged his students to do the same, to embody their philosophy. It's about making your life a testament to your values, letting your actions speak louder than your words. Imagine the ripple effect you can create by simply living out your principles. When you show kindness, even in difficult situations, others take notice. It might inspire them to act kindly in turn. When you demonstrate integrity, refusing to compromise on your values, it sets a standard for those around you. And when you face adversity with resilience, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, it can be a beacon of hope for others who are struggling. But how do we actually do this? How do we become an example for others? It starts with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider the values that are truly important to you. What principles do you want to guide your life? Once you have clarity on these, strive to align your actions with your values. It's about making conscious choices every day that reflect who you are and what you stand for. Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our moments of weakness, our lapses in judgment. But being an example isn't about perfection, it's about striving. It's about making a genuine effort to live according to your ideals, even when it's hard. And when you do slip up, it's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with even greater resolve. Another key aspect of being an example is consistency. It's not just about doing the right thing when it's easy or when people are watching. It's about being consistent in your values, whether you're in the spotlight or alone. This consistency builds trust and respect, and it's what truly sets an example for others. Let's take inspiration from Epictetus and strive to be living embodiments of our philosophy. Whether it's kindness, integrity, resilience, or any other virtue, let's bring it to life in our actions. Remember, you have the power to inspire, to influence, and to make a positive impact on the world around you. Be the change you wish to see, and watch how your example can light the way for others. It seems everywhere we turn, social media, news outlets, even our daily interactions, there's a barrage of negativity, criticism, and yes, the haters. It can be exhausting, but they don't have to dictate your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining one's inner peace amidst external turmoil. He spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that no external negativity can breach unless we allow it. This concept is incredibly empowering. Think about it. You have the power to create and maintain a space of peace and calm within you, no matter what storms rage outside. So, how do we tune out the haters and keep our inner citadel secure? First and foremost, it's about recognizing what is and isn't within our control. We can't control what others say or do, the harsh comments they leave, the unkind rumors they spread. But we can control our response. We can choose not to engage, not to internalize their negativity, and not to let it disturb our peace. Another key Stoic strategy is to reflect on the intention behind the negativity. Often those who lash out are struggling with their own issues, insecurities, or pain. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us respond with compassion rather than defensiveness or anger. It allows us to see their negativity as their burden, not ours. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful tool in maintaining our inner citadel. When faced with negativity, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that this moment of negativity is just that, a moment. It will pass. You don't have to let it define your day or your mood. By staying present and grounded, you can keep your inner peace intact. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positivity, engage with uplifting content, connect with supportive people, fill your environment with things that bring you joy and peace. Remember, you have the power to curate your own life experience. Choose positivity and let the negativity slide by. Remember that tuning out the haters is not about building walls or becoming indifferent. It's about choosing where to focus your energy and attention. It's about preserving your inner peace and strength so you can face challenges with grace and resilience. Stoicism might seem all about rationality, but there's a big place for love, too. Seneca tells us that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you do. It's an active, vibrant energy that you put out into the world, and it has this beautiful boomerang effect. The more love you give, the more you find it coming back to you, often from the most unexpected places. But what does it mean? To be full of love, in a Stoic sense, is about approaching every interaction, every person, with goodwill and benevolence. It's seeing the humanity in everyone, even those who are challenging to deal with. It means wishing well for others, genuinely desiring their happiness and well-being, regardless of how they feel about you. This isn't always easy, especially when faced with negativity or hostility. But it's a powerful stance that can transform not just your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Being full of love also means practicing forgiveness and understanding. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle, carrying their own burdens. By choosing love and compassion, we lighten their load and our own. We connect on a deeper level, recognizing our shared humanity. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us that love extends beyond just our relationships with people. It's about cultivating a loving relationship with life itself, embracing all its twists and turns with open arms. It's finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty around us, and engaging with the world in a meaningful, positive way. So how can we cultivate this loving, Stoic approach to life? Start small. Offer a kind word to a stranger. Show appreciation to your loved ones. Practice gratitude daily. Reflect on your actions and intentions, asking yourself if they're rooted in love and kindness. And when you encounter negativity or unkindness, try to respond with understanding and compassion. Remember, being full of love isn't about being naive or ignoring the harsh realities of the world. It's about choosing to respond to those realities with love rather than fear or anger. It's a courageous, powerful choice that can lead to true contentment and connection. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media, looking at someone else's highlight reel, and feeling like we just don't measure up? But here's a Stoic antidote to this pervasive issue. Focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own achievements. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that the only comparison worth making is with who we were yesterday, not with someone else today. This idea is so liberating when you really think about it. Imagine freeing yourself from the endless cycle of looking over your shoulder, worrying about what everyone else is doing and feeling inadequate. The Stoics offer us a different perspective. Your journey is yours alone, rich with its own challenges, triumphs, and lessons. By embracing this, you honor your unique path and cultivate a sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on external validation. But how do we put this into practice, especially in a world that constantly urges us to compare and compete? First, it's about becoming mindful of when we're making these comparisons. Notice that twinge of envy or self-doubt when you see someone else's success or happiness. Acknowledge it, and then gently remind yourself, my path is different, and that's okay. Next, actively celebrate your own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Did you tackle a difficult task at work? Did you show kindness to a stranger? Did you make time for self-care? These are all victories worth acknowledging. By celebrating your own progress, you reinforce the idea that your journey is valid and valuable. Another powerful Stoic practice is reflecting on your personal growth. Take time to look back at where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or even a decade ago. Recognize the strides you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection not only boosts your self-esteem, but also deepens your appreciation for your unique journey. And remember, the Stoics didn't just talk about personal achievements in terms of career success or material gain. They valued wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner peace. So when you measure your progress, consider these deeper, more meaningful markers of growth. Are you more patient than you used to be? More compassionate? More resilient? These are the kinds of achievements that truly reflect your growth as a person. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, it's so easy to get caught up in the minutiae, the endless to-do lists and the relentless pursuit of our personal goals. But Stoicism, with its profound insights into the human condition, reminds us of what's genuinely important, the connections we share with the people we love. Stoicism might seem like it's all about self-discipline and resilience, but at its heart, it's deeply concerned with community and relationships. The Stoics understood that our time on this earth is precious and not to be taken for granted. They encourage us to live in the present, to appreciate the here and now, and to value the people who add meaning and joy to our lives. But how do we put this into practice, especially when life gets busy and we get distracted? It starts with mindfulness, with making a conscious effort to be present when we're with our loved ones. It means really listening when they speak, engaging with them fully, and showing them through our actions that they matter to us. Expressing gratitude is another key aspect. It's about letting our loved ones know that we appreciate them, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday small moments that truly define our relationships. A simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a kind word can mean so much. It acknowledges the value of the other person and the contribution they make to our lives. And then there's expressing love, which can be done in countless ways, tailored to the individual and the relationship. It might be spending quality time together, offering support during challenging times, or sharing joys and successes. Love, in the Stoic sense, is active and engaged. It's about showing up for people, being there in the moments that matter. Making time for our loved ones is perhaps the most crucial part. In our busy lives, it's all too easy to let relationships slide, to assume that people will always be there. But the Stoic reminder of the impermanence of life urges us to prioritize our relationships, to carve out time for those who matter most, even when it feels like there are a million other things demanding our attention. Cherishing our loved ones is about recognizing the irreplaceable role they play in our lives and honoring that with our time, our attention, and our affection. It's about building and nurturing those bonds, knowing that they are the true source of richness and meaning in our lives. Remember that the journey of life is one we share with those we hold dear. Cherish every moment, embrace every opportunity to show love, and never underestimate the power of presence.